Sather here with a review of the Nemesis ski. This is a new, I don't know if it's still technically considered a prototype, but it's by Quiver Ski Company, and I will be given a review that is kind of my raw reactions to it, first time on the ski, and just kind of my impressions as I'm riding it for the first time. So I've been out on it several times in a lot of different conditions. Today it's kind of a little bit mushy on top. Ski's handling great, but I did want to at least give some indication of how I'm attempting to be really unbiased with this review. I'm not sponsored at all, and it wasn't solicited, this review. I decided I'd just review it because no one's really talking about it online other than the creators of this ski, and I think it deserves a lot of attention because it is the best ski for a snow bike that I've ridden. I do know the owners. There is, just as full disclosure, there might be a little bias just because they don't live too far from me, within 50 or 60 miles, and I have ridden with the guys that helped create this a couple times, and but other than that, I am a professor after all, and my job is to kind of be unbiased, so I'm often brutally honest. So I'm going to be as honest as possible with my review. The only conditions I haven't had it out in is just like virgin, pristine powder. And I don't know, this is mid-May, I don't know if that's going to happen. It could, but if not, I'll have to do a follow-up review next year when I get out in that. I have it out in some powder before, riding someone else's bike with it on, and it was super impressive, and from what I hear, it's really, that's where it excels. So I started with the crusty, nasty stuff first, and then I kind of graduated on to better stuff after that, and it's definitely good enough in the junk, as you'll hear in the video, and then it's just, as it softens up, the ski is just doing great. So anyway, one of my pet peeves in reviews is how much people talk at the beginning. And I'm excited to see what I can do. I just messing around with some air pressure. The snow did freeze overnight, so it got crusty on top, which is perfect. That's what I want to test out. So I just let a little pressure out because I've felt a little stiff coming through the woods there to get up to this. Tracks really well. Like that Yeti ski I had on here, just always felt like it was kind of working against the track. Yeah, it's staying true to where I'm aiming it. Yeah, this is like riding on top of a golf ball. The snow is dimply and tough. And it's holding the line nicely. I can't even hardly see the track. Look at this track I made across here. That is nothing for contact area on the snow. It's amazing. It's like I was on an ice skate. So we'll see how this does. This is the first time I guess this ski has been on a Yeti spindle. Oh, I can feel the difference already. It turns much better. So let's see if it tracks as well as before. Just testing a turn here. Some of it might be just figuring out how to ride it too. Maybe I need to do less with turning and more with leaning. But sometimes it's, some of the other skis I've had, it's nice to be able to flick it. But these are challenging conditions. I would have thought it'd have been better in the original position. But hey, that's why we test it out. Sure, the geometries are different on the different bikes, different forks. I'm digging it so far though. I mean, it's rideable, unlike the Yeti ski on junk snow. Yeah, it's holding the line nicely. Yeah, maybe I just, instead of turning it so much, take advantage of that good knifing that it's getting on the edge and let the power of the machine do its thing. Yeah, because that's what's turning me uphill better. Yeah, it's handling these ruts much better. I mean, it's never going to be fun in a rutted situation, just like, you know, riding anything skinny like a motorbike, mountain bike. When there's ruts, they want to take you off your balance. But this is doing great. The worst of all types of trails, whooped out, wheeler affected. Tried this a week ago, the Yeti ski, and ended up being so bad I just turned around and went home because it was so frightening. The darting. Yeah, I'm not tense and frightened right now. That's a good thing. Also does really well at speed too. Straight line speed on a golf ball surface. I think what I'm complimenting it on, the ability to hold the line so well, is also what I've been trying to figure out in the trees, where it's almost holding the line too well. And I'm having a problem getting it offline. The control there is just great. I can see how when you're in a tough situation, really needing to hit some gap, you point it right, it is going where you want to go. Alright, positive first ride. So one thing I'm really digging about this kit too, the ski, is the other skis have you know, all these ridges and pockets in them, and the problem with that is they just collect snow and it sits in there the whole ride. It gets knocked out, comes filling back in again, and then at the end of the ride, your snow, if it melts, you know, it sits in there and then it freezes up again. So I had started having to just like shop vac everything out after the trip. But this, look at this design. It's nice. I mean, it could look better. There's a bunch of twigs and stuff. I've been going through the trees, but anyway, the smoothness, it's going to definitely like just shed off the stuff, and then nothing's gonna stick to it. It'll be easy getting the ice and snow off of it at the end of the trip. Very, very positive design. Yeti wheel kit fits really good on it. Back on and off of some gravel. This ski is handling the gravel quite nicely. Definitely better than all the other skis I've been on gravel. Okay, I'm trying to wrap up my practice session here. I've been crisscrossing through these trees. I found a nice, safe, relatively safe place with some tree wells, ground showing, some sticks and stuff, but otherwise well spaced enough. But a lot of undulations in here, and the snow is kind of this little bit soft on top, and then gets down to this really hard stuff. So it's kind of like going through mud or like hard butter. So what I'm finding is the ski is amazingly predictable. I mean, it's not easy to turn it in these conditions because the plastic rails underneath, fins, want to keep slicing straight through the butter, and so it takes a little bit to get it turned, but then once it's turned, it stays right on the line you want it to. So it's so consistent, it's predictable, and I'm starting to really like that feeling. At first I wasn't sure, just because of how kind of tough it was to turn, and partially too I hadn't learned quite the lean yet that I need to get on it. So once you get it on that line you want, it really does hold it well, and I'm really liking that about it. I've also been practicing some creeping, going slow, figuring out, you know, what I can and can't do going slow. But it's actually, once again, it's kind of just mows down the line you want it to go, and I'm liking that a lot. So I'm starting to get the feel of it, take advantage of what it does well. So I'm trying a little creep here. And once you get on that line, you can kind of just lean into the hill and put a foot down if you need to, but it will take you on that line you want to go on. So that aggressiveness, that butter analogy I was using, I'm sure once I get on it with deeper snow, I'm really gonna be wanting that aggressiveness, because my knock on the Camzo ski was you couldn't get the bite you needed. So it's gonna be one of those things you probably can't have the best of all worlds unless there was some type of adjustability to the ski on the fly. The only real adjustability I have is in the Air Pro, and I did mess around with that. I do seem to have kind of a sweet spot right now. But I'm getting used to the feel of it for sure. It's a good place to practice right here. What I'm not sure is if I need to swim through some tight trees, how well I could get this, I think the carbon fiber on the spindle makes it kind of flexy enough that if I had to, I'm sure with some soft snow I can really move the bars quickly. But right now they do feel kind of like a little bit of a stuck in cement feel. If I could just creep through a section like this. Yeah, man, I'm just pointing it where I want and then just throttle it and it goes where you want it. Gotta get used to the feel too on making those turns going uphill, back to downhill. I'm sure some of the difference I feel too is I'm on this SS Yeti track going from a Camzo, which the Camzo had the monorail, and I found that was kind of good for just creeping around because you could just do micro adjustments, and you can do that on this too, but it seems like it's more of a, you know, the rails are a little bit wider maybe, and I think there's a little bit less lateral flex to the track, you know, hinging. Alright, if we go down into a tight spot like this, steep, beautiful. Yes, this is where the ski is doing its deal. That's some steep side hill cutting there. Took me easily across that. Oh, this is magical. This stuff is rock hard junk. And I am knifing, skating exactly where I want to go. It's like autopilot. What I was describing as a problem, you know, steering. Sometimes you don't want to steer. And it just took me exactly where I wanted to go. Well done. By the way, this ski, I'm finally on some soft snow, and it feels great. That's what I was hoping for. Figured my initial impressions were just based on some crap snow. Is doing great. pivot turn around this tree. Oh yes. Great ski. The only thing I haven't tried it in yet is really deep powder. Yeah, that turn right there is magnificent. Every bit as good as the Yeti ski yet. What this does for keeping a straight line and handling some junk snow. Like that turn there, that just stopped me. That's perfect. I meant to have it stop me. The track was sliding and the ski just dug in. I'm going slow. Make this turn. Perfect. Wow, it's just amazing. Oh, this is rutted out. Yeah, this stuff here, look at how, I'm sure it's hard to tell from the camera, but this is really off-cambered, crusty snow track snow. And I'm just leaning, using my hip to just kind of thrust a little to the right into it. And it is holding a true line on that pretty steep off-camber hill there. Instead of just being all over the place and fighting it. Any other ski I would be on in this stuff is would just be all over the place. Which makes me even confident enough to do the standing here. Even when you go off and different pressure on the ski, when you go down into bumps and dips, it's still shooting straight out of it like it should. It doesn't take you on a place that you're not expecting to go. Ski is doing wonders at holding lines through here.